This episode wasn't planned. It's just what was possible this week. And maybe that's the most honest way to keep going. I recorded these thoughts while walking with my son as he's a bit ill. And I was tired, a little scattered, but clear on one thing. I'm done ghosting my own frequency. This is the value signal.
I spent a lot of time of my life trying to prove my value through external validation, and it was a waste of time. So here's what I've learned. I want to talk about this effort I had about trying to be something people wanted me to be. And this is a very, very important point. And I just did one short video from the last episode here in the value signal. And it hit 1,000 views, which is a first in all of the content I've ever done. And I think it's because I kind of hit a point where that resonates with people. So, and it was talking about this space, our own space in the universe, and how we have to fill it because no one else can fill it for us.
So here I want to go a bit more into what is ghosting your own space. What could that mean? What do I mean when I say that? So I've done that a lot in my time, ghosting my own space. I tried many different things based on what people think I can do or people think I should do instead of what I actually wanted to do. For example, I built an online business around what I can do well, which is health and promoting health. And of course, there is a very important value for me. This health and nutrition theme is for me in my everyday life. It is very central. I love it, and I love learning about it, and I love talking about it, and I use it in my work. But I focused the business on weight loss because that's what I thought people wanted, and that's what I was told I should do, because everyone said, well, you can't promote that any other way because no one's going to be interested. And in the end, it didn't really work out. And the reason it didn't work out, and I feel quite vulnerable talking about this here, because probably people who followed me then will see this, but I feel like it was not authentic. Of course, the information I gave out and the way I work is me, and that's the way I do things. But the way that it was marketed and the way that it was emphasized on this kind of beauty industry standards, that is not me, that is not who I am, and those are not really my values. So, if you don't stand up for your values because you think people want something else, then you probably end up with nothing. And that's what this story actually tells.
Because if you stand up to what you value, that's where your value is. What excites you, what you find valuable. That's what's important. So I just kind of wanted to go over what I mean when I say ghosting your own signal. I mean adapting or trying to adapt to what others expect of you. Sometimes we have to do that in order to live in a civilized society. But if you do that all the time, or if you only think you can be loved or you can have value in the world by doing that, then you're ghosting your signal. Or when you try to hide your difference because you think you're going to be weird, you think you're going to be different than everyone, you're ghosting your signal. If you make choices according to what's expected of you, and that don't correspond to what you want or what you believe is better for your life, then you're ghosting your signal. If you are scared to show what you think or to say what you think because you're scared of what people think, then you're ghosting your signal. If you think something is really cool and really worthwhile doing, but you don't do it because you're scared that you're going to be judged, or you let into your own fears of it's not going to work out or I'm not good enough to do that, then you're ghosting your signal. You know? Every time you try to hide your authenticity, you're ghosting your signal. And you know what happens when you do that? The universe misses that piece of you that you have hidden. I do believe that creation doesn't make any mistakes. So if you're here the way you are, then you have a role to play and a part in the whole cosmos or the universe or God or whatever you want to call it. And if you hide yourself from that, then you're kind of depriving others or depriving the whole universe of this energy, which is you. I hope that makes sense.
If you give in to your fears of judgment and you ghost your own signal, what you're actually doing is being kind of selfish, because you're thinking of yourself first and you're depriving other people of that difference or of that inspiration or of that service or whatever it is that you are hiding that someone is going to be looking for. Because nothing happens by chance or at random. If you have something that you should be offering the world, there will be people who are looking for it, and they are looking for it from you. They are not looking for it in the voice of someone else or in the attitude of someone else. They are looking it from you. So if you hide that, you are actually depriving the world of your contribution. So I think this is one of the most important points here, and I want to emphasize it. Every time you hide your authenticity, you ghost your signal. And when you do that, the universe misses a piece of itself. So I'll repeat it. Every time you hide your authenticity, you ghost your signal. And when you do that, the universe is missing a piece of itself. So don't let the universe miss a piece of itself. Show up in your full potential, in your full presence, in your full self.
So the point I'm getting at is that you can only find your value if you stand up for the things you truly value. If you stand up for what you believe, if you stop hiding in things that you think other people want from you, and that's a very, very important point in a journey or anyone's journey, is finding out what is valuable to you and sticking to it, without having to hide or without trying to polish yourself too much or trying to kind of adapt your truth. If you try to adapt your truth, it's no longer your truth. So this is my truth at this moment. I look really tired. I have my son here with me because he's ill today, so that's why I'm filming this walking around. So I decided to film this anyway, even if I look tired, even if it's not perfect. I decided to film it anyway, like this, even if it's filmed and edited in small bits. But it's better this way than not getting it done at all. And this is my truth. So this is how I'm doing it now. This is one important point in this journey in the value signal, is that I'm not falling into the trap I felt before of having to post perfect things. I'm a perfectionist, so I'm trying to get away from that. And also of, there were quite a lot of protocols I was trying to follow. I had to post good morning videos on Instagram, and I had to do this and that in social media. That was back in 2020. And in the end, what it brought was just like a sense of burnout, like not having any energy at all or having to be always present and draining myself. And so this new signal, this new frequency, is getting away from that. So I'm doing it in my way. I'm not going to be posting everything in social media because I don't like sharing my life or my private life that much. I don't think that's where my value or the value of my content lies. And so this is going to be different. This is going to be in my own terms because that's the only way to do anything that has value in this world.
So I'll finish it off with a question. What would it look like to show up without adapting your truth, without ghosting your own frequency? What would that be like for you? This episode isn't perfect, but it's here and so am I. So don't ghost your own voice. It's part of the pattern, and the pattern isn't complete without you and without your voice. So if you think this is in any way useful or inspiring, or if it gave you something to think about, please hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and share some love. And let me know in the comments, what would your answer be? What would it look like for you to show up without adapting your truth? And how can you do that right now? This is the Value Signal, not just a podcast, a frequency.